So you will see improper fractions in your arithmetic exam for the Accuplacer. So for example, question number 6, that 8/3, that's an improper fraction. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take a few moments to explain how you can change improper fractions to a mixed number. This is super important. And for most of you guys, it's been a long time since you've done something like this. So don't feel like you're dumb. Don't feel like, oh man, I should have remembered this. If it was a million years ago and you haven't done it since, it's okay. You just need a little bit of a refresher. I found a way to teach you using pictures that I really feel will help you. I helped the student today, and she really benefited from this method, so I hope it helps you as well. So some information that we need to know is, why is this considered an improper fraction? Well, normally we see fractions and the top number is smaller than the bottom number. This is just a regular fraction that we're used to seeing. But an improper fraction will have the larger number on top and the smaller number on the bottom, like we see here in this 10/3. And it's called improper because it looks like it's written in an improper fashion. But in fact, it's allowed to be like that. But sometimes you need to figure out, okay, this improper fraction, how do I write it as a mixed number? Just as a reminder, a mixed number looks something like this. You have a whole number written next to a fraction. So it's not just a whole number, it's not just a fraction, but it's a combination of the two. It's a mix, so that's why it's called a mixed number. Well, how do you go from having an improper fraction to a mixed number? The one thing that you need to understand about all fractions is that fractions are just division problems. This information is going to be beneficial to you. No matter what you're studying, you will have to know this information. All fractions are just division problems. So this fraction, 10/3, is the same as saying 10 divided by 3. Now, whatever answer you get can be written as a mixed number. What do I mean by that? Well, when you do 10 divided by 3, there is going to be a certain amount of groups that you can make. That number, or the number of groups that you can make, that number is going to be the larger number, the whole number. Then there's going to be some remaining values. Those remaining values are going to be placed in the fraction. So this is going to be the number remaining. That's the number remaining. And then this is going to be like groups of. So if you're making groups of 3, then 3 would be the denominator. So I'm going to show you how we can fill this out. And once I do it once or twice, you're going to be like, oh, Miss Amber, that really helped, especially when you see the picture that's associated with it. Okay, so let's look at this fraction again. 10 is the number of items you have, and 3 is how many you're going to put in each group. So 10 divided by 3. How many groups of 3 can be found in the number 10? So I'm going to go ahead and draw the number of things we have, which is 10. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The denominator is going to tell us how many are going to be in each group. This is the groups of 3. So we're going to try to make groups of 3. There's 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3. So how many total groups can we make out of 10? How many groups of 3 can we make? We can make 3 groups. So 3 is going to be the whole number. Okay, but do you remember this top number is the number of pieces remaining? So there's 1 piece still remaining, so we're going to put 1 on the top. And the bottom is what we're making groups of. So remember, we were making groups of 3, so this bottom number is going to stay the same, 3. Something that you should always remember too is that the denominator always stays the same. If in the improper fraction it's 3, the denominator in the fraction is also 3. So did that picture help you? Let's go ahead and try this again to see if it really works. So we're going to go ahead and do 9/2. We're going to remember that 9 is the number of items we have, and 2 is we're making groups of 2. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead, and we know that this is a mixed number, so there's going to be a whole number in the front, and then there's going to be a fraction. This is the number of groups you can make. This is the number of things remaining. And this is the groups of, and usually the same as the denominator. So groups of 2. So we can go ahead and put 2 in there already. But again, we're going to look at a picture to fill this information out. So I'm going to make 9 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to see how many groups of 2 I can make. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can make 4 groups of 2, so 4 is going to be my whole number. How many items are remaining? 1, so I'm going to put it on at the top. That number identifies the number remaining. And then the bottom number should match the same bottom number in the improper fraction. Also, it's good to know that that bottom number is how many were in each group, was 2. So our mixed number, 9 over 2, is equal to 4 and 1/2. Well done. Let's go ahead and try this another time. And again, this is my favorite teaching method because it makes you more and more familiar. The first time, you're learning all the information. The second time, you're applying it again. By the third time, it should even be quite boring. You should even be wanting to tune out or maybe change the video. That's actually a really good sign that you may have just learned something, because what I say in math sometimes, and not always, but if you start to find a topic boring, it could mean that you're actually learning, and that's why you're finding it boring. Now, all the math haters, I just don't want to hear about that, but this is what I mean by, if in the beginning you're learning a topic and it's confusing, you're not quite bored yet, you're just confused, that means you're in the beginning of learning. But if after doing a topic for a little while, that topic now goes from being confusing to a little bit boring, that is a sign that you're actually improving your knowledge and that you're getting better at this skill. So let's go ahead and try to do this one more time, and we're going to do 10 over 7. Again, this is considered an improper fraction because the number on the top is larger than the number that's on the bottom, improper fraction. We also know that this fraction is representing a division problem, 10 divided by 7. What are we meaning by that? We're trying to see how many groups of 7 we can make out of these 10 total items. I'm going to label it just one more time. 10 is the number of items, and 7 is the number in each group. And now I'm going to go ahead and draw my boxes for my mixed number. And I'm going to label them as long as I need to label them in order for me to get this down. The first number, the whole number, is how many groups I can make. So how many groups? Do you remember what this top number was? Yep, is the number remaining after you make the groups. Good. And this bottom number, yep, it should be the same as this one. The denominator should be the same. And it's also what you're grouping by. So if you're grouping by, you're making groups of 7, then this would be 7 in the bottom. So groups of blank. So let's go ahead and draw our picture to see how it turns out. So we're going to draw 10 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're making groups of 7. What does that mean? We're going to circle 7 items at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to make a group of them. We don't have enough to make another group, so then that must mean we have one group. So then the whole number is going to be 1 because that number represents how many groups. Then this top number is the number remaining, so we have 3 items remaining. So we're going to put the 3 here. And then the bottom number should match the bottom number in the improper fraction. So we know it's going to be 7, but also that bottom number should be how many are in each group, which was 7. So we were just able to do 3 different improper fractions, and we were able to turn each one of these improper fractions into mixed numbers simply by drawing a picture. I hope this has helped you to learn the concept a little bit more. I want you to also thank the person that I tutored earlier because she found this effective, I decided to share it with all of you. So I also want to thank her, and I hope you guys always have happy studying. Leave your questions or queries in the comments below, and as always, happy studying.